The spellcaster peered into the fissure in the earth. She could see about 5 feet in before it turned to pure black. The ground was covered in dry leaves and dirt that had been blown in. Longingly, she looked over her shoulder at the bright sun above. She never liked caves. Not since she was dragged in one by that giant spider. Her blood ran cold at the mere memory of that thing grabbing her in those hairy legs and binding her in that sticky silk. If not for that wandering spell sword, no, she didn't want to think about it. Though it was him who inspired her to become an adventurer herself. She gripped the cedar staff in her hand tightly and took a deep breath. This wasn't her first time in a cave since then. No, she had a fair few adventures under her belt. She had been the one to flush out those goblins and face down that slime, though that one left her leg a little worse for the wear. Taking a deep breath, she stepped inside. She lingered at the door for a moment to let her eyes adjust. Little by little, she gained clarity into what she saw. The stone surfaces were moist. There must be a river nearby. She stopped as she saw something else. Deep gouges that ran through the wall. Something big and strong had scraped its way through here. That could be a bad sign. Or maybe it wasn't. She had been asked to look into rumors of something big in the area. An ogre or a Sasquatch, some thought. But no one had a good view of it yet. Only large tracks in the ground and some trampled fields. She was here to find out what was the cause. If it was something easy, she would handle it. If not, she'd report back and get a full party. Raising her hand, she carved a small ball of white light. Pushed back the shadows and let her see as if she was outside. Such a simple spell, vastly easier and safer than a torch or a lantern. Her shoes sent small stones skidding about as she pressed into the cavern. Her path opened into a large room. The magical light unable to reach the highest reaches of the cavern. A faint trickle of water pricked her ears from the shadows. Yep, she was right. There was water in here, she thought as she leapt from a large boulder. That put a smile on her face. A moment of arrogance that could cost her her life. In her pride, she didn't notice the scraping sound behind her. The boulder she had just jumped from was moving, unfurling itself, until it was 8 feet tall. With a heavy step, the mage turned around. Her mouth fell open as she faced down the golem, its stone physique making her look as if she was made from grass and twigs. She waved her cedar staff before her and conjured flames which danced to the creature, to no avail. The stone figure ignored the blast of heat as it raised its hand and punched the young woman straight in the chest. Pain erupted as she took the blow and fell to the ground. Her spell vanished as she was shrouded in darkness. The sound of the stone creature approaching. Welcome back to Mythical Phylogeny. I am your host, Jason Diogos. Today we turn our attention to the stone golem. The golem is a unique specimen of magical creature. A body made of stone and earth and just as tough, yet mobile enough to avoid detection. Yet what is this creature? Truth be told, there are two types of golems, natural and constructs. We shall dwell on the former this time and address the later in the future. Take a seat, young adventurers. Prepare for the next foe. When I refer to the natural golem, you think it is made from stone, but it is something quite different. The bodies come in a variety of colors and textures. This is our first clue to their true origins. A coral. Yes, a coral just like the coral reefs of the oceans. They are easy to mistake for stone, and they are, in a sense. Corals are a species comprised of polyps which lay down a substrate beneath. They can expand out until they reach massive sizes. Yet something is off. Corals are not known to move. Yet they are closely related to two species which do, the jellyfish and the sea anemone. Both creatures can move in their own way. They can adjust their shape with a series of tissue contractions, a step below proper muscles. So how does this help our golems? They use the same tactic but to a larger scale. They use the same coral structure as a frame to pull against, just like a skeleton. When not moving, golems will lay down and even dig into the ground to better absorb nutrients from the soil. Coral polyps absorb nutrients through filter feeding. Our golems cannot do this on land, but they have adapted. The polyps can wriggle about in the dirt to bring in essential minerals to themselves. Once they have extracted all the nutrients from one area, they will move to another. Because of this, natural golems are often found near river bends where heavy nutrients are deposited or in caves which are untouched by most species of flora. A golem's body is sturdy and impervious to most attacks. Swords and arrows do little against them, their hard bodies working like armor. And just like heavily plated warriors, you can face the golem. They are susceptible to blunt and crushing weapons. Maces and clubs can break the coral surface away. If you are limited to a sword or other slicing weapons, you need to focus on the joints. You can cut through the flexible sections, but be warned. When cut, the golem will contract a joint and may pinch your blade in between them and disarm you. But keep working, piece by piece. Though this is slow, it is the worst way to fight. Just swinging your weapon madly is ineffective. What you must do is immobilize it. Target areas which will advance your position in the fight and limit the golem's movements. Destroying the body will only break the colony into small pieces. But you can target the arms and legs of the creature. Move those and it can't fight or flee. But be warned, golems are strong. One blow from them will put you on the ground, or even in the grave. I don't know about you, but I intend to avoid that journey for a long time. Much longer the better, yes? If you can avoid closing the distance, do it. Telekinesis is a spell often mocked for its novelty. Oh, you're just too lazy to go pick up that book yourself. Or you're just showing off. Don't underestimate this spell. It has 1,000 uses. Trapped in a jail cell, well, just lift the keys to your hands. Quick and easy escape to step 1 complete. You drop something off a bridge, well, up it comes. Yes, telekinesis is a versatile spell which any mage should learn and master. With telekinesis, you can hurl rocks at the golem, besting stone with stone. Better yet, if you can fling the large creature into a wall or another golem. Yes, I'd rather use my enemy as a weapon when I can. Most other spells have limited use. Their hard bodies are resistant to fire and ice individually, but together, that is another story. Heat it very quickly and then cool it even quicker. Repeat as necessary. This is a trick used by many ancient stone and blacksmiths. There is a final thing to consider. Can you immobilize the golem? How? It is stronger than you by far, but even it would have to work to unbury itself if caught in a landslide. Lure the golem into the trap and then bury it. Once it's buried, you can smash it to pieces. The value of a golem varies from location to location. Depending on what materials it feeds on, can alter what it contains within. Their pieces are often used in jewelry. The more vibrant color, the better. Another use comes from the dust. Alchemists value in some of their potions. Potions of strength and armor are the most common. If you know you're facing a golem, check in with the apothecary before. Maybe you can haggle a good deal. Set up a lasting relationship with one if you can. I've got one I've been working with for years. She's slipped me in a few of the more exotic potions from time to time. If you're lucky, they'll have gold, silver, or gems embedded in their bodies. This is the treasure trove when found. If you're truly brave and confident in your abilities, you could maintain the farm. Keep the golems confined in a pen or a cave. Be careful though. If word of your golem gold mine spreads, others may try to sneak in and kill them. The mage's head spun as she stood up. In the pitch darkness, she prepared to fight once more. She planted her cedar staff in the ground and pulled her magic. The heavy steps of the approaching golem filled the cavern. Her lips moved silently as she worked her spell. Small stones were lifted from the ground and shot forward as if from a sling. They flew wildly. Some smashed against the wall, but a few struck true. They sounded different, softer even. Perfect. Turning her magic to the stone ceiling, she caused it to crack. As loud as an orchestra, the stone ceiling above the golem came crashing down. The echoes of small stones continued to fall as the golem fell about beneath the pile of stones. The young mage drew her attention to her hand, which had begun the first spell. Flames sprouted from her hand like a dragon's breath. She had to close her eyes from the sudden burst of light. Abruptly, she dropped her spell and cast another. The room went bitterly cold. It was like a winter wind that cut straight through all your layers and left you shivering. Every breath the mage took left a cloud hanging in the air. The tense temperature change left fissures in the golem as it broke its crude restraint. But it was far too late as the mage let forth another blast of flame. The golem stepped back, its body cracking and parts continued to glow from the intense heat that seared into it. That was what the mage needed. Once more she lifted the rocks in the caverns. Like a hurricane, she slammed them into the golem. Its body crumbled from each impact. First its leg snapped, then the arm. Finally, it crumbled altogether. Sighing, the mage dropped to the ground, her chest rising with every breath she took. She knew that was close. Her eyelids were heavy. It would be so easy to fall asleep. She was spent. Yet she had to move. A new rumble was growing from deeper inside the cave. More golems, she feared. Time to get out and get help, and come back to clear it out properly. Gathering the last vestiges of her strength, she conjured a small ball of white light once more. Groggily, she set herself moving for the entrance. Her eyes kept darting behind her as she crawled back outside. With fresh air in her lungs, she returned home from her adventure. Thank you for watching. I've been your guide, Jason Diogos. Please come back next time where we'll be looking at giant serpents. As always, be careful, aspiring adventurers.